Tape Deck Media.
My friend Dan, he's got a podcast, 'cause all comics need a podcast, and nobody had a podcast called The Art of Bombing. So Dan went out and bought a tape deck. Who knows why he bought a tape deck? Podcasts don't get played on tape decks, but Dan is from the 80s. So hey there, all you funny jerks, come talk to Dan about your work. Tell him all about your worst times. It's The Art of Bombing.
We're doing it.
We are. We're here. We made it after 10 minutes of my computer not wanting to cooperate with me. Even though I got it ready a half hour ago. I could have had these issues a half hour ago, but no. It waited until it was time to record.
Of course.
As it does.
It's jealous of your podcast success.
That's right. My yep. I got a lot of success there. It's like, nope, we got to end this. No more. We're done. Calling it quits.
Got your ego in check.
That's right. Yeah, whenever you get too big of a head, something has to come around and ground you, Pop that.
Oh, I do know.
Plate the head. That's
Yeah.
exactly what this podcast is about.
Uh-huh.
Well, thanks for joining me. Did you have any shows this last weekend, or you got some shows coming up? I had the weekend
Oh,
off. It
God,
was
I
actually
never
really
know.
nice.
I don't really hold information in my brain anymore, to be honest.
But I mean, did you
I have-
remember doing a show?
Oh, yeah. I did a show. Yeah, you're sparking my memory. I did a show this past weekend. We had, and when I say Atlanta, when I say we, I mean Atlanta, and I'm solidly 2 hours from Atlanta, but that's
wow.
the closest place to do
I can
like clubs and stuff.
relate to what that's going to be like because I'm getting ready.
'Cause you're
to
moving
to the Midwest. Sorry about
Is
that.
it the Midwest?
I mean, I don't know. What else do you call it? It's not the
I don't
West.
know.
It's South Dakota.
It's not the West?
No, we're not. We're central. We're more central. We're more Central America, like
That's
United
true.
States, than Ohio and these places that get called the Midwest. Like, they're
Yeah.
not even... Ohio's closer to the East Coast than it is the West
It is.
Coast.
I think
But
it's
I don't
based
know.
on population, maybe, because it's so crowded on the eastern half of the country. So maybe it's just like, well,
Yeah, I don't know. I've always considered it the Midwest. We're the Bible Belt.
okay.
So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. But I'm moving to a small town like in northeast South Dakota. So, population
You
of
can't
about
say,
23,000.
oh, okay. I don't feel like it's fair to say northeast South Dakota.
I mean, if you know your geography, people will know. They'll be like, oh man, that's way up there in the corner.
There's the
good
town
thing
that I
is-
lived in
go ahead.
Washington State. All the roads there are like Avenue, Court, East, Boulevard. And so when you tell anybody your address, you're like, blah, 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 15th Street, hold on. Court, hold on. Like it's like never
Oh,
done.
like it's never ending. It just keeps going
Yeah.
and going. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it's weird.
Yeah, but the good thing, it is centrally located. So I'm like 3 hours from Minneapolis, a couple hours from Fargo, and a couple hours from Sioux Falls. So
Nice.
So it's good.
That's good for comedy.
For there, yeah, for that it's good. So, except for the part where I'll have to drive everywhere now to go do mics and shows and things like that. But
Yeah.
here we are. What brought you to? Well, let's get into this real quick.
Sure.
Let the listeners know, how long you've been doing comedy, where you started, and kind of what inspired you to even start in the first place.
Oh, my story is really weird. I feel like people always know their anniversary of when they started and they're like, it's my 2 year, like whatever. And I have no idea. And I started and then went for a little while, kind of, and then stopped for a long time and then restarted consistently. So I've been doing it consistently for maybe 5 years, but I also have this really scattered history of mostly improv, a little bit of sketch, a little bit of stand-up, just off and on. So
Little bit of
when people
everything.
ask me how long, I go 5 years plus, like, I don't know, a year. So then I go, I don't know, 6 years.
I've been doing it a little while.
Yeah.
Who's counting, really?
It's a checkered past. Yeah.
I started on the wrong side of the railroad tracks, all right?
Yeah, well, I started in St. Louis. I move around. That's my thing because my husband's military. So
Another thing we share. No, my husband's not in the military because I'm not married, but
not yet.
but I moved around a lot.
Yeah, and that makes it tough. But when I started doing stand up, I was already doing improv and sketch in St. Louis, and then I started doing stand up, and I really liked it. And then we moved, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to start over. And I've had like several times of moving and being like, oh man. And then sometimes I start over and sometimes not. And
Have you found
yeah.
it more difficult now that you're living in a smaller market? I mean,
Yes.
that this is the hardest like reset for you. You know what I mean? Like of
Yeah,
trying to get your feet back or your feet into
I
that region.
I think so. Yeah, it's been the hardest. That plus, I mean, the closest club to my house is 2 hours.
Hmm.
Which doesn't sound like a lot. And I used to drive 1 hour all the time and have no problem with it. But that's 4 hours without even counting the show. So a lot of times, like if my husband's not home and I'm going somewhere doing two shows, I'm getting a pet sitter to come pop in. And now I'm like $40 in the hole before I even leave the house. So it's a little bit harder that way. But it's also, this move was harder because this was the first time I felt like I had at least built up where I was like doing the types of shows I wanted to do, and like people were starting to like book me at different clubs and venues, and then so I felt like I was giving up more by moving because I actually
Hmm.
had something to show for
Yeah, you had a little
putting in the
momentum
work.
going.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very scared that I would move here, and in people's eyes here I would be new. Like they knew I was new here, but I didn't want them to equate that with like me being new to comedy. I
New,
was like,
yeah.
no, 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 I've been doing this. Please book me.
Yeah, and then it's like finding the fine line of not coming off too condescending and just being,
Exactly.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're just trying to
Yeah.
be informative, and but sometimes people take it. We all have such big egos. People are like, oh, well, you know, this person thinks they're just great. They've been doing it forever, you know.
Yeah. It's a hard thing
Like high
to,
school.
it's kind of like you almost have not a lot of control over it because it's what people are going to think no matter what you do. But it's hard
Hmm.
not to control other people's minds.
Yeah, very,
I wish I
very true,
could.
very true. And so, where was the most recent place you lived before you moved to where you're currently living now?
I was in Washington State, like an hour from Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, they have a pretty good
That's,
scene out there too. But I feel like
yeah, that's
the
great.
Southeast has a great like circuit. More than a scene, it's more like a circuit, I feel like. 'Cause there's
Yeah.
a lot of like drivable shows that you can go do. You know,
Yeah.
like
It's
in
been nice.
Denver, where I'm at, or well, I'm north of Denver. We have stuff along the Front Range, but to get to another like bigger market or other shows, you have to really drive. I started my year
Yeah.
out on a little 5 day little run. I did 4 shows, and it was like over when it was all said and done. I did like 2,300 miles driving.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a new car for the second time in my life, and I was very resistant to it, but it's a hybrid, which is nice. But I put in that mileage still, like I record all my mileage for the IRS and all that jazz, and it is depressing.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Ooh,
absolutely.
I'm like, oh man, I made $150, and then I have to put in the gas mileage for like my 91 mile one way drive, and I'm like, oh, I lost $30.
Not to mention the gas that you have to pay for and everything else. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just created a spreadsheet because I'm going to be doing some better. I mean, I've always kind of tracked the accounting side of things, but I created a gig tracking spreadsheet, and the mileage is part of it. But I'm also doing profit and loss, so I'm putting in how much I make, for the show, what I made for merch sales, and whatever expenses I had for that show, so I can get a good visual of, oh, hey, this is kind of where I'm at. I'm actually profiting. I'm not in the
That's good.
not
Okay.
in
Yeah,
the
if you're
red.
doing well, those spreadsheets are really nice to look at. But if you're starting over in a small town like me, it's a little depressed. This is my first year. I have an LLC and I do other stuff as well as comedy, but this is the first year that I've taken a loss. And you only get three of those before the IRS is like, you're not a
Hmm.
business.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't write
Yeah,
off your hobby expenses.
yeah. This isn't. We're not falling for this stuff.
Yeah. They're like LLC, more like JK. That's not a job.
Hilarious. Well, let's get into bombing. That's what we want to talk about
Let's
here.
do it.
Let's hear. I'd love to hear your story of a time
Oh
where you
my
bombed.
God.
Or
I
just
have
had a bad
bombed
show.
I've bombed a lot. But a lot of the things I was thinking of aren't really good stories. There's not really anything special. It was just like, yeah, I didn't do well. Like one time I went up, I don't know, I have no idea what to blame. I was like, did they not like the song they brought me up with? Like they hated me from the start.
From
And
the
I,
start.
I from the start, I pictured them beforehand all getting together being like, okay, whoever the next person is, we hate her. Okay. Like, you know
They're
what I mean?
just
Like it was
all
like
out
one of
there
those, like, I was
passing
like, what did
notes.
I do? Yeah. Like they were pranking me or something. But the story that I decided on is I participated in the Seattle International Comedy Competition,
Yeah,
which
that's a
is, I
big
don't know
one.
if do you know that one?
Oh, I'm
Okay.
very well aware of it. I mean that
Okay.
and the San Francisco, they're like
Yeah.
pretty well known and respected festivals.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
I was living in Washington at the time, and it was
Makes it
a
easier
big deal there, and
because
but I don't really have a sense of how big of a deal it is elsewhere.
yeah,
Um,
no, it's. I
but
mean, I think if you're really into comedy and like the kind of festival circuit and things like that, it's pretty well known. I mean, some pretty well known
yeah,
comedians have uh placed in the finals and or won that. I mean,
yeah.
Robin Williams won the San Francisco one.
Oh,
Patton
nice.
Oswalt. Like, there's some huge names that have done these festivals. So,
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg won in the '90s
yep,
one year, and
yep.
Zoltan and Preacher
Yep.
Lawson, and um,
So yeah, it's I feel like it's a pretty big deal. So,
well, I was in it, so how big could it be? But I think I don't know, when I got into it, I did kind of get the sense that I was a little bit being done a favor. Like, well, we need more women, and you're here, and you're nice, and
okay.
you're funny enough, and we know you'll show up on time, so come on in. And anyway, I got my butt handed to me so bad. It was like, so if people don't know, it's like a 3 round thing, I think. The first round is like I don't know what they call it.
It's
The
like the
something, and then the
preliminary or
semifinal
something. Yeah,
preliminary, that's what the
yeah,
word is. Yeah.
yeah.
And they have 2 weeks of that, so you're split into 2 groups, and I think it's like 15 or 16 people each group. And you do 5 nights of shows. They're really fun shows, like big venues, theaters all around like Western Washington. And they score you every night. They rank you, all 15 of you or however many. And I do not do well at competitions. Some people it's very motivating. For me, it's a total shutdown. Like I I do best when I'm just trying to be myself, and I have a hard time doing that and comparing myself to other people at the
Yeah.
same time. And so I knew that going in. I was a little bit like, should I even be doing this? I don't know, but it's a good credit, that kind of thing. It's a good experience. There's other cool people doing it. I want to hang out with these cool people. And I did it, but I went into it thinking I'm not going to look at the scores. Like this can be a competition for everybody else. For me, it's just going to be 5 nights of shows. And I
I
said
feel like
that.
that's a good strategy though, like to try to take that pressure off and just try to have fun instead of worry about that. That's kind of my approach to most comedy contests. Is I just look at it, hey,
Nice.
this is gonna be whatever the time, 5 minutes in front of a crowd at a great club. Maybe I get some good video out of it.
Yeah. Um, it is a good strategy if you do it.
Oh.
Which it sounds like you're able to. I was not. I did not look at the scores, so I had that going for me. Every day, I think the night of or the day after, because they would tally like the top five, and then
Hmm.
they'd bring you back up on stage and be like, "Here's your top five for the night." But for everybody, they would tally all the scores and send it to you in an Instagram group chat. And I would just not look at it, which I felt, okay, I'm nailing this. But I couldn't figure out how to just be myself in our 5 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever it was. And so I did poorly. I didn't know I was doing poorly because I wasn't looking at the
'Cause you
scores,
weren't
but I
paying
was like,
attention.
I wasn't paying attention. But I also just like kind of wasn't having fun on stage. And that's a clue. This is probably not going too well. But so for the whole week, I didn't look at my scores. And then the night before, or the day before the last show, they send the scores for the whole thing, like your cumulative score so far before the last night. And they send it in a different format, which was much larger and harder to ignore. So what I did in this Instagram group DM was I wanted to scroll it up so that I wouldn't, because I couldn't just like
Put it like
kind of
vanish
squint
mode
my
or
eyes and whatever. Yeah, I just wanted it to scroll away. So when they sent it to us, I just sent an emoji. No, I'm sorry, not emoji. How old am I? A GIF, whichever.
GIF.
GIF, thank you.
However you
Jeff.
pronounce
I
it.
said Jeff.
Jeff.
I just picked one and sent it, and it was like Jason Momoa making a heart with his hands. But I just picked one at random and sent it just so that the scores would go away so that I wouldn't see them. And so then that night of the last show, thinking that I had seen the scores, because I wasn't telling people I'm not looking at the scores. I was just like minding my own business and, oh, whatever. So the person that put the whole thing together, one of the producers, came up to me right before the last show, and he did a little sing song for me that was "Last Place, Lisa."
Oh no!
And that's how I found out I was in last place.
Before you had to perform on the last.
Before I had to perform.
Oh.
The funny thing is the last show was actually really fun and I did pretty well, and I don't know why. Because I had just been told, out of all these people, you're the worst.
Wow.
So go put on a show. So that's probably, and it took me a couple of weeks to recover. Like I was not a nice person for a couple weeks. I don't know if you run into this, but a lot of times I'll hear from other comics like the whole jealousy thing of like, well, why did that person get that? They're just tracking things too closely, in my opinion, and like taking things too personally, and it's really just subjective. But for those 2 weeks after that competition, I understood.
You're like,
I was like in my head about everything. I was like, why am I even here? Why am I doing this? Maybe I'm not funny. Maybe I'm just silly. And it was pretty rough. So I decided that, at least for now, for the time being, I'm retired from competitions because they just don't suit me very well. They don't work for me.
Yeah,
and
I'm not. I'll still do them from time to time, but again, my approach is I really don't care. I mean, I care a little bit, because deep down inside, we all want to win. Like, we all want to be able to say, hey, I did this thing, but I can control it enough to where it doesn't like really bum me out if I don't advance, like I did have one year, it wasn't this last year, but the year before, I was doing really good in our local comedy competition. I made it to the semifinals, but like a couple hours before the semifinals, I found out an old friend died, and it was too late, and like it wasn't like I could switch it up, like because it was for this contest, and so. And there's nothing I could do about, the situation. So I was like, because we weren't like super close at this point in our life, but it's somebody that I, knew a long time ago. And so it still kind of bummed me out. And so then I went and did this contest. And of course, I did not advance to the finals. And I was a little bummed out because I was doing really good in the contest. But then I was just like, whatever. I just can't worry about this. I probably shouldn't have even done the show, if I'm being honest with myself,
Yeah.
Should have just been like, I'm not in the mood for comedy today. But I also knew I had friends going, so it was like, whatever. But
that's tough timing.
Yeah, it really is. Really is tough timing. But I've gotten better over the years, too, the more I've done them, to where I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just trying to get some stage time, maybe get a good video out of it. If I can get that, great. There are a couple, I mean, because, again, I'm not a big on the competitions either. I've never really liked them. And even as a festival producer, I produced a festival that was a contest, and that's why I will never produce a festival that has a contest, any kind of a contest part of it, because they're just so annoying. And like, what I noticed, I don't know if you felt this way at the Seattle International Comedy Competition, but one thing I noticed that when you go to like a festival that's a competition, the comics, there's not as much camaraderie. Comics are kind of like, oh, this is my competition. I don't really want to hang out. I'm want to be focused on winning and doing my thing. Where if you go to like a festival or contest, like the Blue Ridge Comedy Festival where we met's a good example of this. There's no pressure. Nobody's trying to win anything. We're just trying to have a good time, put on good shows. And that's the kind of stuff that I like. But that being said, I do really want to do the Seattle International Comedy Competition and the San Francisco International Comedy Competition.
Well, have fun.
Those are two of my bucket list festivals to get into. Now, I would probably be easier to get into those festivals if I actually applied. But I haven't applied in like 3 or 4 years.
What's stopping you from applying?
Part of it was the commitment of, the whole month.
Like...
it's a long commitment. You have to do, like you said, it's like they do the 2 weeks of preliminary and then the semifinals and the finals. And overall, if you make it all the way through, it's a 3-week commitment. Yeah.
It's a lot.
So, not living out there, definitely, I know quite a few people in the area that I wouldn't, if I got in, I'd, excuse me, I'm sure I'd have people to stay with, but, again, that commitment. And it was, after getting rejected several years in a row, it was just like, I'm going to take a break from submitting to these festivals and just keep working on comedy and doing my thing. And then maybe a few years down the road, when I get, more decent tape, I'll apply. See what happens.
Nice.
What it would be really cool, and I'll never accomplish this, but it would be cool to win both of them in the same year.
That'd be awesome. Will they let you do that?
I think you can be in both of them. I don't know.
But can you win both of them?
Well, that I don't know. I can't.
I wonder if anyone has ever.
That, and I'm not even sure about that. I'd have to look. I know there have been people who have gotten into both of them. And some, I think, even the same year, if I remember correctly. But I'd have to go look at because they have the list of the finalists on them.
Yeah.
On the website for every year. Because that's the other thing. These festivals have been going on for 30-plus years. Which, that's the other reason that's kind
of... They
of...
have I was looking at the website just to refresh my memory about how many people were in it and all that. And they have a list of finalists from, like, the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Been going a long time.
And I look at the names and I'm like, I don't know any of those names.
Yeah, I think
nobody stuck around.
San Francisco one has some more higher profile names because
from way back when.
Yeah, like Dana Carvey did it one year. I don't know if he won, but they definitely made it like in the top 5. Robin Williams won one year. And who else? There's quite a few comics that went on to be pretty successful that were in the finals. Oh, Patton Oswalt was another one.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
But again, those were, San Francisco also is known for having a pretty good comedy scene and producing some pretty good comics. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in Washington, they have people come down from Canada. Mm-hmm. And they are so good. Because apparently they were telling us, like, you can get on the road really early in Canada. And then you're just, like, getting so many reps, and you're doing an hour really fast, and, like, you're just getting good. And then they come down there. So, like, in my preliminary week, it was just all over the map in terms of experience level. And, the person who won that year just got a Don't Tell special this year and is, like, blowing up. And Brittany Lysing, very funny Canadian comedian.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Do you think if, looking back at that and, kind of, essentially your bomb was like a bomb of a whole week.
How dare you?
Well, when you cumulatively, do you,
Listen, I want you to know, technically I wasn't dead last because we had another person who came to the first show and didn't do well, and so he thought that meant he couldn't come to the other ones, and he just didn't show up for the rest of it. So technically he was last,
yeah,
and I was the second biggest loser.
There you go. Well, my question for you though was going to be, do you think if you would have actually looked at the scores, do you think that would have like changed your approach, and you would have maybe tried to like, oh, maybe I'm not trying to win it, but I want to at least try to like, oh, I got to like do something with my performance and actually at least try to maybe give a better performance or try a little harder or whatever?
I think so. I think I should have done it differently. Which is weird because I thought going into it, not looking at the scores and not making a competition, I was like, my competition is who can have the most fun, and it's going to be me. And then I just like couldn't do it, you know? But I think if I looked at the scores, because I knew going in, I was not like you're saying you would have to plan for 3 weeks. I was not planning for 3 weeks. I was like, there are killers in this group. I am not making it past the preliminaries. So I was just like, I'm going to have 5 fun shows, and that'll be that. But
like, I'm just here for a good time.
I'm here for a good time. Exactly. Like, nobody get attached.
I ain't staying.
Yeah, but I thought going in, I'll definitely be in the bottom half, but I didn't have any expectation of being the worst. So, not that I wasn't like that person's worse than me. I just like didn't think about it in that much detail, I guess. Yeah. And I think if I had seen the scores after night 1, I would probably it would probably helped me to do what I came in to do, which is like, oh, well, I kind of tried to have a tight 5 that's like everybody else, blah, 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 memorized. The order is, whatever. And that's not how I work best. I work best like being a little bit loose and bringing in a little bit of improv, along with the stand-up. And
ask if you're more of a, bringing in, doing a little improv and stuff too, because...
Yeah, I usually know. Actually, I just had a friend. I told him he hurt my feelings because we were at this show and he was saying, "Yeah, just do your 5. Do your 5 minutes." And I said, I don't have a 5 minutes. And he was like, "You don't have 5 minutes?" And I said, "Listen, minutes, I have a lot of 5 minutes, but I don't have like a go-to. This is my 5 minute. This is my 10 minute. Yep. This is my 20. Like." I kind of know what I want to start with. Like I have an opener that's, real short and punchy. And then I have something that I'll know that I want to close with. But then I'm just kind of like, I know the jokes and I'll pick them as I want them. Yeah. Kind of a la carte style in the middle there. But I don't do well. If you tell me something's 5 minutes, I'm going to panic about it a little bit and, think that because it's not enough time to play. So I feel like, oh, no playing. Just say the words as you mean to say them, like in the order you mean to, and then I get in my head about it. And
especially when it gets even harder when you're doing longer sets consistently, and then you get, maybe you get into a showcase or whatever and they're like 5 minutes and it's like, I'm doing
you're like, what?
Hour. What are you talking? 5 minutes? What? That's barely enough time for me to get them to know me.
Yeah, it's kind of silly because now I'm all over the place. I'm mostly doing shorter sets, but because I'm new in this scene or whatever.
Yeah. How long have you been in that area now? That scene?
Since May.
Oh, wow. So not even a whole year?
No, not yet.
Oh, wow. So super new.
So I'm doing a lot of showcases and stuff, but and then I'll have like a one-off headliner set, and I'm like... it gets so different.
That's one thing where I'm moving, it's not like because I'm from there, I've lived there, I started comedy out there, I do have comedy connections, and I'm established enough that I know when I go back I'm not going to have to worry about like people know who I am in the comedy area there. So that's one thing versus if I would be moving to someplace I've never lived before. So I was about that.
That's really lucky. Yeah, that's a good situation there. When I moved here, we knew we were moving here, obviously, before we came here. And I was like feeling real scared about it. And just, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what the scene was like. I didn't even know if there was any sort of a scene like in my town or within 40 minutes.
How big is the town that you live in?
I don't know. It's a pretty big town.
Roughly.
It's the second largest population wise in Georgia.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's got to be some stuff going on around you. Maybe not a real club, but...
Yeah, there's like a music venue. They do comedy once a week.
Oh, okay. So it's like...
But they have an in-house host. I'm not like a club headliner. I'm not at that level.
Yeah,
but
but...
But I can feature every once in a while. Like, he doesn't want to put me up too much because it's the same material and the same people coming. But usually I'm like, I think if I ever succeed at this comedy thing, it's going to be like 10% funny and stuff like that, talent and things. And then it's going to be 90% because someone else couldn't make it and I was available.
Hey,
I get so many gigs.
Though. Sometimes
I'm
that's
like,
all that matters.
ladies, please keep dropping.
Available.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my first cruise gig was because I was available.
Yeah.
That's really...
It's good to be available.
That's what it boiled down to. Yeah, it boiled down to being available. And
did they have somebody drop and they needed somebody?
I'm not sure what happened. If there could have been a couple different scenarios. It could have been a drop. It could have been somebody got let go. Because they have like their rules and stuff. And if you don't follow the rules, they will fire you.
They throw you off the boat?
Yeah, throw you off the boat. And you're like, you're on your own. So I don't know what that current situation was, but it just boiled down to being available over that Thanksgiving weekend because it was like within a couple of days I was already going on this cruise. Like it was like maybe a week that they put out to see what the avails were and stuff to see if anybody was available for that particular gig. So
yeah, that's awesome.
So it just happened to be I was available. So.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes that pays off.
Yeah. I get a lot of stuff because I'm a woman who's clean, which apparently is very rare, and I'm available. And I'll drive ungodly distances.
Yeah, if you're willing to drive, that's for sure. People will let you do their shows for sure, especially if you're willing to drive for very little gas money.
Uh-huh. It's funny to be 2 hours away because I'm like for this Atlanta, the thing that I did this weekend was the Atlanta's 51st jokes. And I was like, am I Atlanta? I don't know if I'm Atlanta even. Like, I don't know if I count as a member of this scene or am I too much of an outsider? So I kind of like try to use it a little bit to my advantage. Like if I'm trying to get up at an open mic that's got bucket spots or something, I'm like, you guys, I drove 2 hours. I'm an out of towner. You have to put me up. And then if it's like a show, I'm like, no, you guys, I'm so local. Like I'm right here.
I'm just hanging out.
I'm right down the road. Yeah, it's an interstate, but still.
Doesn't take me long to get here. I love it. Well, we're going to get this wrapped up. Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything you'd like to promote that you got coming up? Any projects, things like that?
I mean, I'm doing shows all over. You can go to my website, lisarimmert.com, and find shows if you're in Georgia and the surrounding areas. And sometimes I'll do a random, Louisville or something. But I also, because I know a lot of comics listen to this show, I do submission tape reviews for $40 a pop, which is severely undercharging because I spend literally 3+ hours on each one to make sure I've watched it several times with different angles and give really solid advice. But if people have a submission tape, like up to 10 minutes that they want to know, hey, is this good to submit for club hosting gigs, or is this good to submit to festivals? What can I make better next time I record a tape? I do a lot of those and it's pretty cheap for what you get.
All right,
and
cool.
people can find me on Instagram. That's the best way.
That's the best way, Instagram. All right, well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.